Not all me. I'm gonna be quiet. Jet, bring us in.
Hell no.
Bring us in. Bring us in. Pop, pop, pop.
Fuck. Secret hose. Secret black hole. Secret Superette house.
Secret hose against.
Yo.
Black hose against the world.
Black hose. White
Black hole
hose.
against the world.
Jewish hose.
Well, welcome back. Secret House against Tokyo-based hip-hop art and culture conversations, underground, independent, avant-garde, experimental, abstract hip-hop discussions. We're back today to talk about the new Aesop Rock album, Black Hole Superette, 18 songs, 68 minutes. Came out May 30th, so we've had this for a week and a half or something like this.
A week or so.
I don't think that there's much that needs to be said about Aesop Rock. Most people know that he is a MC poet artist type that's been holding it down for over 20 years. People that know the show know that I'm a huge fan, and he's probably my favorite MC of all time. I've been listening to him since 1999, and this album is off the back of his last one, Integrated Tech Solutions.
Right.
And it kind of came out of nowhere for me. We did an album reaction to one of the songs, Send Help, on one of our discussion videos. And I personally have been pretty excited to get to this album. While I love Aesop Rock and do consider him my favorite MC of all time, I don't usually love him so much that he dominates my end of year list at the #1 spot or anything like that.
Sure.
So, how do you know Ace Rizzle?
Bro, it's been so long. I don't even know. I just remember in high school, someone's like, "Yo, check this guy out," and then that's just kind of where it started. So, yeah. I can't
What year
remember.
was that? You
High
think?
school? 2013, 2014.
Okay.
Something around there.
So that's like a skeleton.
Skeleton, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of like the second. That's like the second resurgence of Aesop Rock's career. I fear that skeleton. And it's also one of my favorite Aesop albums. I like it more than The Impossible Kid and several others of his work. But
Never mind the giant Impossible Kid poster behind us.
I bought the vinyl. It came with the vinyl. So
Mega doesn't like that album. He doesn't. He doesn't.
I quite enjoy most of his albums, but this one's
good.
Jet, how do you know?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
That's right.
Actually makes sense. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know. I was like 12. I don't know, man.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 had labor on it, so maybe it was 4. I didn't play 3, so I don't know.
I had both, but those are the only games I had actually for a long time. I got bullied in school for it for a while. It was a whole thing. But I'm like a casual fan. I have a lot of admiration and respect for what Ace does, and I have heard the big ones, I mean, I've heard Skeleton, Impossible Kid, obviously the more recent stuff, everything from Spirit World Field Guide, I've listened to as part of the show. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that whole Rhyme Sayers era and the Def Jux sound and all of that stuff. This was released on Rhyme Sayers. Am I wrong on that?
Probably. I think most of his stuff has been released on Rhyme Sayers. But I'm not. Yes, it is. It is a Rhyme Sayers joint. No. I'm looking at Spirit World Field Guide.
Well, it was as well. It was also released on Rhyme Sayers. But I'm a casual fan. I'm not like a hardcore devotee like a lot of the people watching this are. But yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal. What is there to be said about Aesop Rock's rapping ability that hasn't been said 1,000 times before?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you, Jed. I have a lot of respect and admiration for him. And just when you think of hip hop and you think of specifically lyricisms, people who go crazy with their bars, and they got them super nuanced, and you got to run it back to catch everything that's going on. He's definitely up at the top of the list with I don't know, Lupe Fiasco or some shit, So yeah, I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, obviously this video will probably get more views than most of our other videos because he does have a pretty strong grassroots fandom who are very passionate and opinionated about his work. And a lot of times if you say something even remotely off color about his work, people will not fuck with it. Now, in my experience as an Aesop fan for most of my life and trying to introduce a lot of people to it, there's a lot of people that I know that are huge hip-hop fans that just don't get into his music. Back in the day, it was largely what is he saying? I don't understand any of this. That was part of the charm to me back then. And now I'd say a bit more recently, maybe post Hail Mary Mallon or Skeleton.
Malibu Ken.
A lot of people who, if they don't have a problem with his voice, which is he's got a very distinct voice, and some people just don't care for it, just the same way as you would say about a Dose One or a bus driver, bus driver,
fucking bus driver,
or even a Danny Brown. You know, some people they just don't lock with it, and that's fine too. But one of the things that I found, like, that my nephew Rock, who's more of a gangster cat, but I also was putting him on Aesop, and he fucks with some Aesop shit, and he prefers Blockhead's production with Aesop more than Aesop Rock's production.
Which, you know, as some people who have been watching the show for a while know, that's probably my least favorite of his albums. Garbology, yeah. I didn't really jive with it. I think that the cleanness of Blockhead's production, especially on that record where it's quite synthy and it's very beautiful. It's excellent production with excellent rapping over it, but it kind of felt a little vanilla, maybe even, you know, dare I say, unambitious compared to the album that came before it, Spirit World Field Guide. A lot of people had issues with the production on that record because it didn't sound as good.
And the
mixing,
mics,
some of the technical issues that the album has. But I loved, you know, just how bizarre and kind of all over the place conceptually Spirit World Field Guide was. So I think I was a little disappointed that he took that kind of step back. And if we can get into this album,
I want to build off of that point you just made too.
If we can get this, I kind of feel the same way about this relative to ITS.
Okay.
Okay.
I think this album. Let me elaborate. So I think that this album's really, really good. I really, really like this record. But one thing that Integrated Tech Solutions did very, very well is that you had these kind of jumps from techno-apocalypse Ace to deeply personal, you know, just a Lithuanian American kid personal Ace. This is B-boy Ace, right? This is
like perhaps his most hip-hop
Ace. This is like
4-element hip-hop.
4 elements Ace,
like real
right?
hip-hop. Hashtag.
And personally, like, due to my own personal biases and preferences, I like Weird Ace better.
Okay.
I can see that, actually.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
In terms of the production, one of the reasons I really enjoy this album is because, well, if I could talk about like his relationship with Blockhead, they've done a lot of work together, and I do love a lot of it. I've also kind of grown a little bit just disinterested when they come together, and I think it has to do with Blockhead's great, but the particular style that Blockhead produces in is not drummy enough, not like that enough for me a lot of times.
Right.
Now he is like, that's maybe not the best way to put it, but there's something that is kind of orchestral or cinematic or soundscapey about Blockhead's production that I often am just like, okay, I've kind of heard this feeling in Aesop's music before. With Aesop's production, he tends to use a lot of guitar stems. His drums are less of a 4/4 and more towards a kind of rock orientated drumming and things of that nature. Also, a lot of his production is what I might say is like can be considered a little cold because it's very digital and synthy, and not so much with analog or live instrumentation besides electric guitars and maybe the occasional acoustic. I don't know. I don't have like an encyclopedic knowledge of it. I'm speaking just generally.
Yeah.
With this album, one of the things that I was really enjoying about it is that there are some songs on here that feel a little bit warmer. There are some songs here that I feel harken back to that 1980s, 1990s b-boy hip-hop elements. There's like explicitly songs on here that I say that is like a super hip-hop style break. This is a b-boy track. And this album, production-wise, to me, it really kind of speaks to me, because what I really want from Aesop Rock is an album from him that is produced by some of the favorite contemporaries that are doing things now, like a Steel Tip Dove, Kenny Siegel, August Phenom, Messiah Music, other people. I mean, even I would love a track produced by Ant from Atmosphere. I want to just hear him over other people's stuff a little bit more often, and this is about as close as that I've got to having Aesop Rock's production not be so Aesop Rocky in terms of like the fidelity between his sound. Now, this album does have hella tracks that are very much that's Aesop Rock production, but it also kind of like skirts it
The
and moves
line,
away.
yeah.
If you listen to like Himalayan Yak Chew, that doesn't sound like Aesop Rock's production to me. Now maybe it does if you go all the way back to like Tags of the Time 3 and Wise Up. Like Aesop's production was nothing like this back then. But yeah, like this is just unusual and warm to me in a way. And also just like I just like a lot of I like there's particular tracks on this, maybe 6 or 7 tracks on this that give me a different feeling from some of the things I get from Aesop Rock.
It's kind of interesting you say that the production on this track specifically, Himalayan Yak Chew, the production brings you back to a time when he wasn't so dialed into like the Aesop Rock sound, right? And the album's called Black Hole Superette, right? So who knows? Maybe this is kind of just a place where time doesn't exist, where you can have different types of production layering on each other.
That's definitely something I do like about this album, is that you do get a bit of every era of Aesop Rock on here. Like there are some cuts on here where it's like, oh, okay, if he had gotten on the path he'd gotten on for Bazooka Tooth and he had just continued in that straight line for the rest of his career, there are songs on this album that I think wouldn't sound out of place on that timeline. But at the same time, like, you do get a little bit of Spirit World Ace, you get a bit of Float Ace, like you get a bit of everything on here. It's definitely, I mean, it's a superette, right? That's the idea, is that you've got this selection. In a way, it kind of evokes Blockhead's The Orcs for me in that way, because you do get the various aces throughout, like, stylistically and production wise. But yeah, I do think all in all, I mean, it's like a pretty straightforward record. As far as things go, there aren't necessarily any like major curveballs that I didn't anticipate, which I guess kind of sounds contradictory to what I just said. But like, I think that's also a testament to just like the breadth of his career, over the last 25, 30 years now that he's been doing this. So,
I mean, I could definitely, I definitely hear all those points, and it's interesting to me, the variety of the production, even though so much of it is like very locked into like Aesop, but it's all over the place production wise in a lot of ways. You get the curveballs by like Open Mike Eagle singing, and that song is very kind of beautiful like that. But like, one of my biggest takeaways from this album is just how fucking b-boy it is, how hip-hop it is. And Aesop Rock continues to be like one of the only artists that I consistently hear working in a lot of like hip-hop aspect. Like the Def C did that too. He's talking about B-girls, open mic nights, poetry and shit, but Ace is very fucking hip hop. He's very fucking graffiti. He's very fucking b-boy. He's very much of that last era, where he was at, like that 4-element keep it real era of hip hop, while doing it in a way that's not gimmicky or calling back to that. There's scratching on this. There's b-boy joints on this. There's endless references to fucking graffiti. Even the Costco video is, I only glanced at it, but they're like in a sewer tunnel, and fucking just, it's all graffiti. And Aesop Rock he makes me happy because I'm very much still that b-boy. I'm very much still on that shit. People like, how you get to Japan? I was like, I don't know, some hip hop shit. My wife, I met a B-girl and I married a B-girl. My daughter breaks, and like, I'm very hip hop. Like, I never strayed. You know what I mean? I've always been like this. And I hear all of these lines about being all city. Yes, vendetta messenger. Get to the boys you beeline with. He's autographed our street signs plus a paw print from the Klekai mix. He's bombing with so much like hip hop braggadocio on that. And even this beat, Movie Night. It's very, one of my favorites on the album. It's very like top rocky. And so many of these songs are just like undiluted b-boy bravado. It's like and of course he has other insightful songs and shit, but like, and interesting songs, but like I Sold Here, I played it for Chi, my wife. I was like, yo, this Aesop shit is hella b-boy, and she's heard Aesop, for 11, 13 years we've been married. And she's just like, oh, whatever with Aesop. But this one, she's like, oh shit. And then she got to start up rocking.
I mean,
it's fucking hard.
This joint's also like one of those like classic, like, I mean, it's braggadocio basically all the way, in that distinctly dope Aesop Rock way, where he's like doing it in things where, you know, he's saying some shit like, I breathe glass, I crack trees, I scream, man, snow falls and my song plays from that dream van. Like, and I'm like, wait, what? Wait, huh?
Yeah.
And it's all connected to cold. You know, he's cold, he's icy, like, and
very cool guy.
Very cool guy.
The coolest guy.
The coolest, maybe. One
And
would say.
it's funny because, you know, that's one of the things about Aesop Rock. While there's like writers who are very intricate, like Lupe Fiasco, who makes we'll talk about that later, but like there's this level of these guys that write, but it just like Eminem, who I can't say I'm a fan of, but there is kind of an idiosyncratic way that his mind works and the way that he puts references together that is very interesting for, you know, just for the sake of what he's doing. Aesop is very fucking similar in that way. A song about being fucking cold, you know, that concept is very simple.
Yes.
Like this song is about me being cool. I'm gonna talk about a lot of cool shit. But he says lines like snowman going in. Oh wait, what he says? He says sled dogs going on strike. Snowmen going inside. And then at the end he says I wear cool clothes. It's like, bro, and it's just all it is just like a b-boy track. There's no fucking like. There's no like deep like philosophical like what's going on. There's got to be a deeper meaning. Maybe it's connected to, you know, whatever. But he has every single track is just full of that idiosyncratic Aesop Rock. Nobody is really doing the things the way he does, and it's like it's one of the things I used to love about Doom, the way he can twist a turn of phrase that you know and make it different. That Aesop does that like fucking all the time. On top of just being such a high tier, high level fucking lyricist. Even if you don't like it, you cannot dismiss the fact that this guy is capable of doing it all. He's capable of the storytelling. He's capable of being weird, philosophical, fucking idiosyncratic.
Funny,
you know, he can do
personal,
all of it.
Yes,
he can do all of it, and it's a really good listen if you allow yourself to do that. Like, there's a fucking song about like invader snails, you know, like snails going, and the way that he turns this like really kind of bizarre, banal kind of experience into this crazy thing where he starts imagining them overflowing,
like the
and
zombie apocalypse taking place with the snails in his garden. Like
he's such a unique mind. It's such a unique mind. And regardless of what he's talking about, it's pretty interesting. And the features on this album also fucking absolutely add to. I do admit, like, with the success of Dose 1, his last album on Backwoods, I fucking would have loved the fourth installment of them coming together, because I could hear Dose bomb on a couple of these tracks, right? And I would love to hear him and Dose together again, but you know, him and Ace and Woods are always dope together. Ace with Arm & Hammer is fucking absolutely lovely. And you know, fucking Woods, what is the line that Woods says about fucking the GPS? Hold on. He says, I know where the GPS on just for show. Oh, the GPS just on for show. I know where the fuck we going. Whether rolling fast or slow. It's fucking it's a real fucking jam. It's a real fucking jam. Look at on EWR Terminal A, Gate 20, right? He's like fucking, that beat is so ill. It's like a fucking, do you guys remember that game Quap?
Yeah. It's
like the beat kind of like quaps along like a weird
I was
Yeti.
gonna make the analogy that
You don't know Quap?
Quap is the joint with the sprinter where you would press.
orange?
You have to
No,
like, press
he's a runner, but you can
Q.
control like his muscles in his legs, so he kind of just flails around and like it's
quapping.
insanely difficult.
We used to
But
call that,
You use Q, W, O, and P on the keyboard, so that's why it's called quap.
Yeah, to move different parts of
to move his
limbs.
But
we used to call like quapping like when we went out to go fucking drink.
Right.
Yeah, let's go fucking quap.
EWR is Newark Airport, right?
I'm not sure.
It's Newark,
but it's clearly clearly like an airport or a bus terminal or something.
I believe it's Newark. But so the analogy I was gonna make is like listening to Ace rap is like watching someone solve a Rubik's Cube in 3 seconds.
Damn.
Like, you have all these colors, you have like, you know, this kind of chaos, and if you don't know what you're looking at, which I don't 90% of the time, they go pop, 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 and they put down a perfectly ordered set of colors onto the table, you know, and this is like 2-3 seconds, effortless. The algorithm is just implanted in their brain, and that's what Ace does with the English language. He is able to take these themes and concepts and all these scattered ideas, and then just present it to you in what is often like a very simple, relatable way, in spite of its complexity and weirdness and dopeness in so many fashions. You know, with Snail Zero, he's talking about this invasive snail species in his fish tank. It's like, it's got this very personable, like, funny thing. Obviously got also like Aggressive Steven off the last album, where it's just like, what do you mean a fucking snail? We don't have a snail, but like, she knows what a snail is, so like, she can't be lying to me. You know? it's like, you know, it's funny, but at the same time, just the ability to take those syllables individually and just put them together with such aplomb. It's
and
phenomenal
often
stuff.
and oftentimes it's not relying on the same type of metaphors. It's like it's not a metaphor. It's a very clear
a through line, yes, but he's
picture,
made it all
but it's
rhyme.
made it work somehow. Like, you'll have lines like on movie night, right? Ask land pirates Adam, flanked by vampire bats with irregular flight patterns. Who, like, when you're talking about how dope you are in MC, nobody says they pull up on a car-sized snail. You know what I mean? Like, that's also like a Never-Ending Story, the guy that rides the fucking snail.
Okay,
he just has... You've never seen Never-Ending Story? Of course you have.
I have been in rooms while that film was on, but no.
You were not born, and it was a movie but it's a great film. But anyways, but yeah, you know, like, he has these, his braggadocio for me is very left field. Like, it's like, who thinks like that? Who puts like braggadocio together like that? First and foremost, but wait, he says Dark Rider ride up on a car-sized garden snail. He always has the ability to do these things, and I find it like sometimes he'll say a word that I just don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Or it will be something like, oh, I didn't know that was a dog breed. I had to look up that. And he always knows his shit with that.
There's 5 dogs in one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and for me, there's one of the things I also love is just how fucking there's so many fucking Vandal lines on this. Like, fucking what? Like, staring at the sun until one of us blinks. When it does, I'm running for the tunnels. Hater blood in the crink. That's a fucking marker. You know, like, and so much of it, like, Checkers is hip hop like that. Don't show up at the get down talking all that holy like you ain't hell back. There is like, hold on, I even have more graffiti lines. Sorry, I love the smell of markers in the 4 a.m. and drawing giant letters on whatever signage forced the hand. I was listening to this shit and I was just like, yo, bro, I'm the most hip hop human being in a 500 fucking meter radius right now. It's like, it makes me feel very connected to something in a way that that I just fucking enjoy. And even with all that, there's like some very kind of simple, straightforward moments on the album that are just like John something. Right. And even listen to the production on this one too. It almost sounds like some 1970s kind of like television show, like a funk type of, you know what I mean? Yeah. It has this kind of nostalgia, like jazzy funk type of, you know, welcome back, you know, like Taxi the show, right? But what he's talking about is a pretty straight story about Aesop, maybe a college student at the time, 1996, or high school student at the time, and a painter comes to do a presentation, and the painter the previous night before had just watched When We Were Kings, the documentary about the Rumble in the Jungle, Ali versus Foreman. Rest in peace, George Foreman, in fact.
Rest in peace, George Foreman.
Right? And he talks about how this guy was coming to do his slides, and so affected by that work, he just starts going off about it. And it affected Aesop Rock in such a way, it imprinted on him the importance of like art and the importance of like, it also shows how like the artist who is there to influence you also is not necessarily going to influence you by their art. And that's exactly what happened to him. Like, John something's art was meaningless. It was the connection with Aesop and the artist that formed this type of idea about the documentary. And it's such that it's got this jazzy type of refrain, even John something. It's very different than most of Ace's production catalog.
Yeah. I kind of saw this track as a sequel, a successor to On Failure on the Integrated Tech Solutions.
Okay.
Where he's talking about Van Gogh and his relationship to Van Gogh's art, and how he never really got Van Gogh, was never really a fan of Van Gogh, but as he kind of goes through his own artistic process, he kind of starts to sort of see the parallels and the differences and stuff like that. And yeah, I think, obviously art is something that is crucially important to a great artist of the last 30 years. So you kind of I kind of saw a through line there. Could just be me.
That's cool, actually. Yeah.
And it's like almost like not even like rapping in a way. It's just like, obviously he's rapping, but that's how effortless it is for him to tell the story. There's a lot like, I mean, to be honest, I could probably sit and talk about this for like another hour or whatever. I won't inundate us with that, but some other moments on the album that I really enjoy. Of course, I enjoy Costco.
I was gonna say that. Fuck.
Yeah, Costco is fucking hard.
And then I heard it.
Yeah. The Red Phone is also super hard. Let's talk about fucking Charlie Horse, right?
All right, who you got?
Aesop Rock, Homeboy Sandman, and Lupe Fiasco. And this was the song that I was the most like excited for because one, like Lupe Fiasco is just on a tier above Aesop Rock in terms of his exposure. Yes. More people know him. I mean, he's been on songs with Kanye. He's like a major fucking like perform at the Grammys type of
time, yes.
And he's kind of moved away from that kind of recognition, I think, in the modern day. Well, despite not having lost any skills.
He's a professor for like hip hop now, right?
Yeah, he does something like that maybe at MIT or something, right? But a few years ago, he was talking to some other rappers about like the shit that he likes, and he's like, "There's not a lot of shit that I like. I mostly listen to Aesop Rock, Homeboy Sandman, and I believe he said Soul,
yes,
of Anticon, right?" And I was always like, wow, that's amazing. And so many times I heard Lupe. Excuse me, I ate right before you guys got here, so that might smell like hamburger. Anyways.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Yes. Oh, excuse me. But no, so like it was just always wonderful to hear another big artist recognizing the level of craftsmanship and quality of an Aesop Rock, a Homeboy Sandman, or even a Soul.
Yes.
And then we got the collaboration that they did 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I forget the skateboard collaboration one. I forget the name of it, right? Pumpkin Seeds. And so when I heard Lupe is going to be on, not only is it dope because he's rocking with Aesop Rock again, but he does not do features anymore. I think the last 2 features he's done have been with Aesop.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. That's pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
And also, these 3 are very good at doing a rap.
Yes.
They're very good at writing a rap. So this album, I mean, this song, not necessarily that this is important in any way, it calls into question, who do you think did what? Like, what? How do you rank them? How do you feel about them?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm a Homeboy Sandman guy on this one.
Sandman
I think he's fucking nice on it.
I mean, they all bring different things to the table on that one. Yeah. Like, Ace is kind of a bit more affable and endearing on that record. Sandman's just swagged out. Like, he's like on his bullshit in the best possible way. Yeah. And then like, Lupe he's like cool with it, and he's kind of like, he's got a little bit like, I always get the impression there's got to be some sort of like gentleman's agreement in place when you have titans on a track like that.
Well, you can't re-record your verse after somebody
you
can't hear the other person's verse or whatever.
But it's also like, I feel like even if it's unspoken, it's like, yo, don't fucking do some corny double time, like, yo, I'm the best rapper here, like, try and like backflip off the homies type thing. It really feels like it's like you got these 3 masters having a casual sparring session, or like,
well, they're all kind of approaching, like, they all have through lines of the verses. Like Aesop Rock ends his rap with this shit is jazzercise, and then Homeboy has this is Buns of Steel, and then also there's some lines in Lupe's verse that are kind of exercise orientated, thunder thighs or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But like for me, there was just like Homeboy Sandman is fucking crazy, fighting the various nefarious kitsch that's known for marrying and like, yo, he just fucking bombs. What is the portal line that he's talking that he does? But there's just like so many points. I was like, ugh, this fool is crazy. And also the fucking
I'm so fly, I just ate dehydrated space food. For real, this is buns of steel.
I don't know. Who did you have on it? If we're gonna be that corny, I just like Skedaddle while I channeled the source.
On Pumpkin Seeds, I had Lupe. I think I've got Ace this time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's fucking bombing, and I really fucking like it.
Principally in vitro fertilized kings into queens. What you mean, what it means. I just like to.
I do think it's really interesting that when I first heard this song, I was like, wait, this is Lupe? Because I felt that the mixing on his audio is so different from his usual projects, right?
His voice sounds a little thinner on this one. It's a little more pitchy.
And I think that's I think that's because of it being on an Aesop album, because I feel like Aesop's vocals are kind of mixed the same way.
Yeah,
I like
I mean, Ace really cuts through the mixes on his, and that's been true for 25, 30 years.
I think the mixing on this album with Ace's voice is better than the last few.
Yeah.
There's been something tinny about his voice on the last few albums, especially Spirit World, but this one is...
You can hear something in the high frequencies. Like,
it also could be...
It's like a little vibration.
It could also be my equalizer on my phone that's this running through too.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure I have an equalizer on automatically that I have tuned to my headphones. So it's probably sounding a bit fucking... It's probably sounding a bit different. If I put it flat, it might be.
It's all good. It's all good. You don't got.
I just want to check. Yeah. See.
Oh, yeah, you got a lot of the mids going up.
Yeah.
But to be honest,
Somebody reply to that comment.
Let me see. Is that a flat?
I mean, I'm not hearing a difference on my end, so.
Okay. Here.
Sweating to the oldies.
I mean, yeah, it didn't make too much of
No?
a difference. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but there is definitely a different way that Ace is mixing than Lupe's engineer does, and it gave me a certain appreciation for the verse. It kind of made me focus less on the voice and more on the verse. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I was with Ace on that one though too, Jet. So,
Yeah.
I will give Lupe this.
I wanted to go to Lupe bad, but yeah.
I was thinking about a comment I left on a YouTube video about the Japanese jazz legend Isao Suzuki, who passed away of COVID during the pandemic. And I wrote like maybe a couple paragraphs just kind of memorializing him, eulogizing him, because I know that video's got millions of views and a lot of people don't know about Japanese jazz. So I wrote this whole eulogy, about Isao Suzuki, who had passed away from COVID and had recorded with all these great artists like Ella Fitzgerald. He performed with Ella Fitzgerald and Cannonball Adderley, and he was one of the jazz messengers with Art Blakey and all legends, royal like deities of jazz. And the immediate comment in reply to mine was, no, he didn't. And I don't know what he didn't do. Did he not die? Did he not die of COVID? Did he not perform with Ella Fitzgerald? I don't know. But yeah, Lupe has a bar on Charlie Horse where he says, what's the bar? What's the bar?
I don't know.
Hang on. I've got it somewhere. I think it's got to be Lupe's verse. Oh yeah. He's like, hit me in the comment section with directions if you know a spot, and if they lie, and someone reply to that comment with, no, it's not. And I was just like, no, he didn't. I was like, oh, okay. Guess he didn't. My bad.
That's tight. This fucking the red phone, that line, vortex staring back from the reflecting pool. They trying to separate the Jekyll via centrifuge. Whew. He's amazing. Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite Aesop Rock albums in a while. Again, who knows? It's fucking recency bias. I love every Aesop album that comes out. It mostly just depends on how long I'll keep them in rotation before I'm distracted, because that seems to be the fucking way that music consumption works these days. Yeah. And with us being reviewers, I fall victim to the same thing. But yeah, I really love this one. This one is super hip hop. Aesop's always hella hip hop, but this is, to me, I agree with you, Jet. This feels like his B-boy album, and I rock with it for that. I like virtually all the songs. The flow that he does on what is it, Steel Wool? I've
Steel
not
Wool,
heard
yeah.
him do that flow before, and it's pretty fucking. It's pretty
Possibly my
pretty fucking dope.
one of my favorites on the album. Maybe my favorite actually. This one, Steel Wool.
Yeah, his flow on that is crazy. Also, you know, Rob Sonic in there, not rapping, but you know, Rob is around. He's great.
Yeah, let me get Chicos.
Yeah, his fucking flow on this is
Pack of Camel on.
aight. It's aight. It's fucking
It's cool.
fire.
It's cool.
Used to pair cereal and cartoon. I don't know if there's a better way. Now I'm going hungry in the war room. It's similar, but it is not the same. When I walk in, be cool. No sudden moves, only coming through the refuel. Be forewarned, my skin reads as steel wool. Hook in with a haymaker on a shopping spree into your gene pool. I might change any all dad's eyes. Looking disappointed in the real you. Son, ushered in some abominable music.
I might change into y'all dad's eyes, looking disappointed in the real you. That's fucking hard.
Hindsight is like trying to prune the Amazon back to one bonsai tree. When I walk
Hindsight is like trying to prune the Amazon back to one bonsai tree.
I'm so unwieldy, I'm
Anyways, I don't know. Aesop Rock. Is this a long one?
It's 45.
Yee, it is kind of long. It's
Sorry,
almost
30
40
38,
minutes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I really like this album a lot. I know that I'm the biggest Aesop fan out of all of us, and thanks for always coming along to do this one. I wouldn't want to do it by myself.
No, always way.
What do you guys got? Favorite songs on the album? Bada bing, bada boom.
Secret Handshake. Secret Handshake for sure.
Secret Handshake.
Sorry, Secret Knock. Fuck.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Secret
not
Knock.
Secret
Okay.
pancake.
Handshake. Fuck. Okay. It also.
I think I Sold Here is going to be one of mine just because it's such a jam.
I've
Movie
done
night.
something too.
Movie night. Steel Wool. Snail Zero.
Himalayan, Yak Chew, and maybe Unbelievable Shenanigans, man. Honey and that is really good too.
I like
The
Costco.
Open Mike Eagle joint, so be it. I think that it'd be easier for me to say which songs on this I don't love all that much. I don't love Bird School all that much. It's fine to me. Black Plums is okay with me too, but I mostly love all of them. Even Snail Zero, it's like a good story, but I don't really care to listen to that track too
What?
much. I think it's dope, but you know.
I like fish tanks, so I felt the existential horror of We Have a Snail. I was like, oh no.
You gotta listen to what connects with you, you know.
They eat fish. I was never a b-boy. I don't graffiti, but I did have fish.
You guys got to start sticker bombing. We got a bunch of fucking Secret House stickers, so start sticker bombing
On
around.
the back of my phone here.
Secret
Hey,
House
check that out.
against-
Check that out. Shouts out to BMOS also. But yeah. Secret
right.
House.
Beamers.
You guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah, we out. Like, comment, subscribe. YouTube. Caltrops Press. Rap
Dude,
Music Club Podcast. Extraordinary.
I don't want
Rap
to see
Podcast,
anybody
Noname
else join the Discord. Do not.
we have
join
we have a
the
Discord.
fucking
Join it if you're
Discord.
cool.
Nah, don't.
Or
have
don't.
To, we should vet people.
I mean, it's a secret.
No,
house, right?
I'm just kidding. Definitely join the Discord. Shout out to the people who've been banned. It's just what it is. I don't hate you. I just don't like you.
I have no opinion on this, but
Yeah, you do.
y'all
You just
have
don't want to say it
have a
because you
nice
don't
day.
want to be confrontational as
Have a
me.
nice day. Secret House against Secret House in favor of copyright claims on our videos. So I'm gonna keep mumbling until this video ends.
Oh.
Because rhyme sayers
Hold
are
on.
gonna.
How are you guys not cold? I was looking.
You're right under the air
directly on the
conditioner.
air conditioner.
Yeah,
okay.
deal with it.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
fucking hot. I even got the fan on.
At one point, I
There's
was like,
one-
wait a minute. You know.
There's one point in the video where I go to drink my microphone. If you guys find that, tag it, and I'll send you a sticker sheet.
And
Yeah,
there's-
I'm literally going. I go like this.
No, I mean, you're gonna actually sticker sheet.
Oh yeah, why not? It's like $1.